Hey guys, how you doing? It's Rich. I see we've got 4 for 4 on, and we've got Dave and Nick that both need to enter their audio pins. I'm going to do a test on Joe. Joe, are you there?
I'm here. Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. I can barely hear you, but that's okay. I'll have you speak up if we need to talk. Dave, I see you're now on. Are you there?
Yep, I'm here.
Okay, gotcha. I'm just going to mute everybody in and out to do a quick sound check. Nick, I see you're there now.
Hi.
Hey. And finally, Renee. How are you doing today, Renee?
I am doing well. Good morning.
Good morning. Okay, and a special thanks to you, as usual, for being up early.
Thank you.
It's like it's already the weekend where Dave is.
Yeah.
You know what, though? We don't feel bad at all, Renee, knowing that you're a military guy. So you're supposed to have more done by 9 o'clock than we are all day anyway.
True. I can't argue with that.
Okay. Hey, it's a good connection today too on the voice over IP, so that's good. I'm going to go ahead and mute you out, Renee. We'll unmute you guys as necessary to minimize any background noise. As you're probably aware, we've had a pretty robust month in terms of recruiting new clients. I don't know if that's going to continue at that rate or not. We got a lot of uncertainty in our seminars. Not uncertainty like, hey, we're not gonna get the results we want, but we're rolling out some marketing campaigns. We're doing some mailing and some emailing that we just haven't ever done it before, so we don't know how well it's going to work. If it works well, then we're going to continue to pour it on. If it doesn't work so well, then it may be a little bit hit and miss, like it's been over the last year, where we get 4, 5, 6 clients, and then we might go 2 or 3 weeks with 1 or 2, and then another burst. And those bursts come around webinars and seminars and stuff like that. So we're planning, though, on continuing this fairly robust pace. And as a result, we're in the process of interviewing and hiring a fifth senior consultant. So we'll see how that goes. We just don't want to overwhelm anybody too bad. Ideally, here's what we want to see happen. And I don't know if this is realistic or not realistic. We hope it's realistic, and what we hope and what's real aren't always the same thing. We hope that if we get a good, solid group of 5 guys or gals, we've got some gals in the mix for this next hire, that will be able to handle pretty much the full load moving forward as we get into the middle part of the year. So we'll see how that goes. But we would like to get this person hired sooner rather than later, so that we can get them up to speed sooner rather than later. As you all know, getting up to speed at MYM is easier said than done. So that being said, I've only got a couple of things submitted to me today. I anticipate this will pick up on the next couple of weeks as we start seeing some of the identities for these newer clients. I do have one from Nick, and I have some questions from Dave. That's it. Joe and Renee, I don't have anything submitted from you. Oops. If that's correct, do me a favor and just shoot me a little note on the console there that says, yeah, I'm good, I don't have anything. Otherwise, we'll take a look at that. Let me see here real quick. Whoops, that's not what I meant to do. Okay, Joe says yes. I guess that means yes, you're good. Okay, so we'll start with Dave, because he's got what hopefully is a quick question. I don't mean that as a dig on you, Dave. I mean that as a dig on me, because sometimes I have a habit of making short questions into long answers. Let me go ahead and unmute you, Dave. Dave, what is it you wanted to talk about specifically?
Well, there's 2 things. One is you had written me after last week's call. We kind of wrestled with Rebath for a while. First post Rebath. You had written me something that you basically had taken from your files and modified.
Right.
And then I had responded because obviously what you gave me was real good. My concern and what I put in my email that I forwarded you this morning was the only thing I felt was missing was he was a big proponent of the time he takes before during the initial consultation to make sure that he's getting it right, what they want. And I didn't feel like we covered that. And I felt like both from the client perspective and also just from, I think it is a strength. I think it is something that if we could work in.
Let me cut you off real quick.
Okay.
Here's what I would suggest in that situation, and I probably should have just emailed this back to you. I don't know what happened. Well, generically speaking, I'm pretty sure what happened is I saw that email, and before I responded, I got, something else caught my attention.
Sure. I hear you.
Got to. But in that situation, a couple things. Don't be afraid to email me again and again and again and say, hey, what do you want to do about this? But generically speaking, if I send you something like that, particularly when I send it to you and I said, hey, here's some information I have, this seems like it might be a good fit, take that as your cue to take whatever I send to you, take what you like out of it, use it, throw out of it what you don't like, and add into it whatever I left out. So I would say, yeah, just, take that as a base and modify it a little bit.
Okay.
So if there's some elements that were left out, clearly I'm not going to be as on top of all the various hot buttons as you are. And so, yeah, just rewrite it, or update it or whatever, however you want to say that.
Okay. Okay, very good.
Would you like to look at doing that right now, or do you want to just take a stab at it and discuss it later?
If you feel like we've got the time today, I'm not saying. I guess it's kind of up to you. I don't want to make it seem like, well, you got to do all the heavy lifting. At the same time, obviously, you're pretty darn good at it. So, I'm comfortable with either method, basically.
Well, let's do this. Let's do this. Let's open it up and take a look at it, and let's agree ahead of time. Let's spend 5 or 10 minutes on it. Maybe just discussing it out a little bit more so than trying to hammer all the details out, okay?
Okay.
And this is something that I would have emailed to you last Friday, correct?
That's right.
Okay,
if it helps, Rich, the whole thing came across to you at, it would have been 8:57 your time this morning, because what I did was I forwarded your original message plus my response on top. So it's all in one place if you look at that email from this morning.
Okay, let me pull that up. Okay, I've got an email from you. Okay, it doesn't have an attachment. Is that right?
No, it's no attachment because you'd sent it is
right.
in the body of the
perfect
of the text.
That's fine. That's not a problem. I was looking for an attachment. That's why I couldn't find it.
Okay.
Okay, here it is. This should be on your screen now. Can you see it?
Yeah.
Okay, so what you're saying is one of the major elements is their pre-job analysis. Tell me about that a little bit.
Exactly. So you got the guy that comes in and can do like pretty much the liner only and say, it'll be a couple grand or, and this is it and all that. He comes in and he wants to know they can do pretty much do the whole thing, wet and dry areas. And he comes in and really is very detailed about finding out what they want, as he said, all the way down to what handle they want, what kind of style handle they want on the cabinets. So he takes a lot more time and doesn't just come in and rush and, hand them a quote and then start pressuring them. He just comes in and really does a thorough analysis of what they want and then gives them a real detailed proposal quote.
And I'm just going to guess based on what you just barely told me that he gives them that quote after the fact. He goes back, writes, figures it out, then sends it. Is that right?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. And you may not know this, but generally how long does it take him to get the quote back?
That I don't know.
Okay, let's just guess for our purposes, and then you can confirm the actual number later. I'm going to guess it's probably a couple of days, 2 or 3 days. That would be my guess.
Okay, yeah, that sounds reasonable.
I mean, if he tells you it's 10 days, I would say you might want to consider making that faster. If it's 1 day, that probably sounds too fast to me. I mean, if he's got anything else going on. So 2 to 3 days is probably true. That would just be my guess. And it kind of plays into this because, you know, it also speaks to the lack of sales pressure, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Because I'm not giving you a quote and asking you to make a decision right now. In fact, I'm not even giving you a quote right now, so there's nothing to decide right now, which I think is an interesting little element of that.
Exactly. Yeah, there's no overt pressure at all on his clients. He was pretty clear about that too.
Okay, so let's do this. What's on the screen right now? Welcome to the fast, affordable, no hassle, guaranteed for life way to remodel your bathroom. You know what? This is a pretty common theme that I'm about to say that we can sort of inject into this and put it as a wrapper. And if we put this wrapper, it's going to allow us to then put this slow down, detailed planning, you know, no sales pressure. It fits nicely under this wrapper. And the wrapper is no stress.
Yep.
Okay, so if we use no stress as the wrapper, fast, affordable, no hassle, guaranteed for life way to remodel your bathroom, that still works. Faster and less expensive, that still works. Higher quality, longer lasting, that still works. But it allows us to then also come in and put this other stuff in there. Does that seem, I mean, it seems like a good way to approach this.
I agree with you. I agree.
So I don't know if I can type on this or not. Let me just
probably hit reply or something.
It's all right. I'll just stick it in a document.
Okay.
All right. Man, I hate this font. Get rid of that thing. You know what? I typed everything I ever typed in Times Roman for probably 12 years. And then all of a sudden I hate it. I don't know why. No stress bathroom remodeling. Welcome to the fast, affordable, no hassle, guaranteed life to remodel your bathroom. So we come in here with maybe this is sort of like a header, sort of like a flag, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, what do you mean by that? Well, welcome to the fast, affordable, no hassle, guaranteed for life way to remodel your bathroom. Faster and less expensive than full tub and tile replacement. That's still correct, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Sorry,
well,
I can't help it. Jesus. Are you hedging on it?
The only reason when I just start thinking about that is right. That is right, because even when they're doing the dry areas and tile and stuff, it's not they're not ripping out your tub and redoing a full tub.
Okay, now this is a master letter I wrote for Rebath. It's not based on Durabath. It's based on everything. Introducing the no stress, no worry, no hassle, no problem way to remodel your bathroom. This might be a good way to start this. Let's try this. I don't know. Let's just throw some stuff on the page and look at it. What are we writing here? We're not writing a website, are we? What are we writing?
Yeah, we are writing an ID, but it's essentially going to end up being the keystone piece will be the home show, and this would be the big bill, basically. You know, typically we do the web page ID and then kind of reverse engineer or kind of fit it in for the big bill, because we're not redoing their website. This will be essentially end up being the key message on their big bill. And of course, anything else we do end up doing for them in the future, we'll use the themes here.
It starts with a detailed analysis. A thorough needs analysis. And a detailed, ironclad quote. No sales pressure. I don't know if I like that right there. It starts with a thorough needs analysis. Oops, not that. I don't like this word. I'm going to put it anyway. Okay. The no stress, no worry, no hassle, no problem way to remodel your bathroom. That's a pretty big claim. I mean, really, and it's stated in a kind of a powerful way. Mm-hmm. Starts with a thorough needs analysis followed by a written quote. I kind of like ironclad in there.
Yeah, ironclad rarely sounds bad,
I mean, it's just a different level of, it's not going to change. Starts with a thorough needs analysis, followed by an ironclad quote. I'd rather get rid of the word followed in an ironclad and an ironclad quote and no sales pressure. Now, notice one thing on here. When we use this dash to offset this I don't know what you call this, clause or whatever, and no sales pressure, it intensifies the passion in the power. Starts with a thorough needs analysis, an ironclad quote, and no sales pressure. It's as if in person, the person dramatically stopped, paused for a minute, looked the person in the eye, and said it like they really meant it. Do you see that?
Yeah. It definitely makes a difference.
I think it does, and you notice I tacked it on there kind of at the end, but when you use that dash, it doesn't feel really tacked on. It feels like that's what I really want you to see.
Yeah.
Detailed planning allows us to work quickly. This word accurately sucks here. Precisely, truthfully, perfectly. Detailed planning. I think we need something else here. It just seems like something else needs to prove this point a little bit better. Detailed planning and something else allows us to work quickly and accurately.
Yeah, here's the worst phrasing for it, but one of the things that he wants to get across is the amount of experience he has means he's going to be able to talk to you about things that you may not have even known to ask about. It falls under some sort of professional guidance thing, but professional guidance will put anyone to sleep. but that kind of thing. Experienced.
Detailed planning. Well, let's focus on what we're talking about here. We're talking about working quickly and accurately.
Okay.
So what is it that allows us to work quickly and accurately? Well, they detailed plan. Another thing is, I don't know if this is true. I'm making stuff up that might be true. Maybe they pre-construct things before they show up so they can quickly install them. Maybe it has to do with their modular nature of their product.
Yeah, I mean, they have the three-piece system as opposed to the one. I mean, that more goes to accuracy or the durability of the product rather than quickly necessarily. The amount of the experience of the installers themselves allows them to work more quickly and accurately.
Well, I'm talking about that below, though, so I don't want to double dip on that.
Okay.
Right.
So what else would make him be able to do that? Experience, three-piece.
Pre-constructed something. Pre-constructed systems. Pre-constructed. What about this? Off-site pre-construction. Now, I don't even know if this is true, but here's what I like about it. It's something that most people probably haven't really ever considered or thought about or heard of, but it's also something that when you say it, everybody instantly understands what you mean and can verify in their minds, well, that would make it go quick, and there's no drop-off in quality if you build it off-site. I mean, you're building it off-site or you're building it on-site. Either way, that's, it's the same thing. It's an interesting concept. I've worked with some of the quick kitchen remodel guys, and their whole secret is that they build everything in the shop and then they bring it and they just install it. Whereas lower guys come into your house and build the cabinets right in your house, okay? And when I first encountered that concept, the 3-day kitchen, I said, how can you even do that? And the guy goes, well, it's simple. We just build it off-site and then we bring it and install it. I needed zero additional explanation to go, that totally makes sense. I get it. Why doesn't everybody do it that way?
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, why would they shut your whole freaking house down for 4 weeks while they build stuff when they can build it off-site and just bring it in and install it? I mean, duh. Now, here's the caveat here is that they're going to not really necessarily understand what that means. Off-site pre-construction, really what that means is we're going to bring a liner in, right?
Yeah.
But I think it sounds cooler to say off-site pre-construction than it does to say we're bringing a liner in. I don't know. This is something the client might object to because they might feel it's not technically factually accurate. And if that's true, then we probably want to change it. But if they don't have an objection to it, I kind of like it.
What I have a feeling that he might, but
might what, object?
Yeah. He was very focused on how the three-piece as opposed to the one-piece system works. What about detailed planning in our unique three-piece system, or is that one of those things where someone's going to say, well, what the hell is a three-piece system? It's harder to understand than off-site
and that was
pre-construction.
That was the whole point of that little anecdote about the kitchens is when somebody hears this, they go, oh, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
And, when I first got involved in this industry and I was talking to some of these one-day bath guys, before I really knew much about it, like, well, how do you install in one day? They said, well, it's simple. We come in with this thing and it's already built and we just stick it in the bathroom. Oh, okay, that makes sense. We're not having to lay tile and do all this other stuff that these tub and tile guys do. Okay. There's an interesting thing. Here's what it is. And this is good for everybody on this call to hear because, we're all going to be working with these one-day bath kind of guys or, 2 or 3 day bath guys, whatever you want to call them. Some guys don't like to be called a one-day bath guy. But what's interesting is they tend to assume that everybody out there that's buying bathrooms understands the landscape of what's available for bathrooms, because they're so ingrained in one-day baths. And they've had so many sales appointments where they've been selling against BathFitter, or they've been selling against Rebath, or they've been selling against Bath Planner, they've been selling against some other one-day bath kind of a guy. And I think what a lot of these guys fail to realize is that there's a lot of people out there that don't even really know that these categories of products exist. So when the guy comes in and starts talking about his three-piece system, I think a lot of people's brains go, I don't even know what that is, or if it's different or better. I don't really even care. And then you start explaining, well, see, it's a three-piece system, not a one-piece system. And they go, okay, yeah, I guess that sounds better. But it's not any big deal. It's not the smoking gun. It's not the Bruno Magli footprint. It's not the glove that quit or it doesn't fit. It's not the blood splatter. It's not anything that's interesting or sexy. It's just, oh, okay, it's three-piece versus one. That means that, you know, it's got a little more flexibility and it's not going to get mold behind it. Okay, I get it. Okay, that sounds pretty good. Do you agree with that, Dave?
Yeah, no, I definitely hear what you're saying, is that their perspective as quote-unquote insiders and what they think, what level of detailed knowledge they think the prospect may be at versus where they're actually at is an issue.
What I did not just say is, well, the fact that it's a three-piece system is irrelevant and never bring it up. I didn't say that. Yeah. But I think it's an appropriate thing to bring up at the appropriate point in the conversation. That's why we use Durabath. Durabath is blah, blah, blah. It's a polymer system. It's not flimsy, layered acrylic. And in addition to that, it's a three-piece system instead of a one-piece system. That means that blah, 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 so that blah, blah, mold, blah, blah, blah. And people go, oh, okay, yeah, that sounds better. Now that you mention it, I like that. But here's what they really want, I think. No stress, no worry, no hassle, no problem. Fast, affordable, no hassle, guaranteed way, you know, guaranteed for life way to remodel your bathroom. So, you know, I'm working a little bit higher up the ladder here than the three-piece system. Starts with a thorough needs analysis. You know, and I think we can come over here. We could take this and we could put it here. Welcome to the fast, affordable, no hassle, guaranteed for life. Now, see, I like this guaranteed for life because now we start digging at some of our more direct competitors. Starts with a thorough needs analysis, an ironclad quote, and no sales pressure. Detailed planning, offsite pre-construction allow us to work quickly and accurately. The highest quality materials and craftsman elite craftsmen installers mean the highest quality materials means the industry's longest warranties. I doubt he would dicker with me on elite craftsman installers.
No, not at all. In fact, that's definitely one of his things. It's either him or his lead installer, who have 20 and 15 years respectively, and the time they take on the little details and the fact that they've been doing it so long, they know how to make it both look right and actually be right. He would definitely agree with that. And he's going to like the guaranteed for life too. It's the fact that Rebath can, as a whole entity, can stand behind the warranty and make it, which makes it much more a true lifetime warranty, is something he hits hard with the folks he meets with.
Okay, let me ask you a question. What is it that we're actually going to write up for him? Is it going to be a big bill or something?
Yeah, exactly. That's going to be the key original piece.
Okay, here's something that I think needs to be integrated into this discussion. It's the discussion about helping people understand the lay of the land. There's three choices. There's full tub and tile replacement, number one. There's cheap, flimsy, layered acrylic that's fast and cheap. And then there's Durabath. Okay?
Yep.
And we kind of talk about that here. Durabath is expensive and inexpensive. Okay? If I were writing this as a website, I would probably put in my box, I would probably put which style and price of bathroom remodeling is best for you. And then I'd have a very quick explanation, full tub and tile, cheap layered acrylic, and then Durabath, and then I would say click here for more information. I have an entire page on it.
Okay.
In the entire page, I've written this entire page like 50 times. Let me see if I can find something here. Okay, how much did you pay for a quality remodeling job? This is a good headline for a box, right? How much did you pay for a quality remodeling job? You're ready to tackle the project. Congratulations, blah, blah, blah. And I actually, let's see. Should have some videos already made of these.
How would you like to get a $25,000 bathroom remodeling job that normally takes 5 weeks to complete for only $5,000 to $10,000?
I don't think this video quality is very good because I had a guy that kind of sucked that made it, but I think it's a good concept.
That's right. A $25,000 bathroom remodeling job for just $5,000 to $10,000, completed in less than 3 days using the highest quality materials and warranty.
And I think this is what this is here. So I think you've got enough to fine tune this and roll with it. Okay.
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
Let me send this over to you.
Okay. As you're doing that, I'm sending you something.
And then I'll also send you this. Okay. All right. What was the other thing we wanted to talk about?
Well, the other thing I put in my email had to do with the PPC page, but I need to take a quick detour because of something that has come up. I'm taking over the Rally Windows
Okay.
from Joe through no fault of his, and I've been dialoguing with Judy about it and what's doing with the client, and our pledge to the client apparently is that you were going to take a look at this ID, which you've already done, but a quick re-review to see if you see anything else we can do. Whether that's like something extensive right now or it's a quick thing where you say, yeah, this looks real good to me. I don't see many ways to make it stronger. That
what are we looking at here? It's
it's
this
the
one right here?
It's the hang on, I'm sorry because yes, that's it right there.
Okay. You know what? I've already sent some notes to Joe on this. Let me pull those up.
Yeah, and he did pass those along to me. So if that's, I mean, I can definitely work with that. like I said, I guess it was our promise that we would look through it one more time. He seemed overall pleased with it. That was his feedback to Joe, and mostly to Judy. So, but I just wanted to make sure that I'm dotting my I's and crossing my T's and running it by you.
You got my feedback?
Yes. Yes,
Okay.
Joe sent me those notes.
Okay, well, I mean, I basically rewrote the main headline from 5 lines to two lines. So 4 lines with a line break in between. I hold degrees in engineering and finance. I spent 20 years with IBM. I'm hardwired for precision and accuracy. Okay, because my comment here was this 5 lines is too jumbled. It's just like a whatever.
I got you.
The readability is impossible. And then below that, all of that coupled with my lifelong love affair with building and remodeling only allows me to do things one way. And then I wanted to bring probably the right way up into the main headline area.
Okay.
Now, do you want me to show you this on the screen so it looks the right way?
I mean, I can take these notes and get them to Dawn and have him make the changes, and then sit with Bruce, so to speak, and
okay,
and tell him, hey, we've gone over it again, and
now one thing I heard, and I can only comment on quote unquote what I heard because I haven't been officially briefed on this, nor do I really need to be officially briefed on this. But what I did hear was that the client said it wasn't hard hitting enough. I'm going to tell you why that comment's coming up. It has to do with 2 major things. Okay, so if you look up here at the sliders, these are pretty good sliders. I don't know that I've reviewed them in detail, but it's pretty good, okay? Here's why a guy would say that this is not very hard hitting. Because you've got to understand what the eyeball is going to do when it hits this page. It's going to see the word excellence. It's going to see this big jumble, which it's not going to read. So anything that's in there is getting no credit at all. And then it's going to come down to the right way. And then it's going to go over to our guiding principles, which has these platitudes inside the box, which, Joe, we had a conversation that when we reviewed this, those needed to be fixed, and they never got fixed. So my comments, hopefully, Dave, you've got these comments. I said, hey, we got to fix these.
Yep.
You can't say integrity.
Yeah.
We do what we say. Service becomes clean and comfortable, whatever. I mean, this is MYM 101 kind of stuff.
Yeah.
If I ever see somebody write something that says, here's what we do, professionalism, integrity, service, quality, value, and price, I'm probably going to break my computer and then bill it back to you.
Gotcha. Yeah, just to clarify too, and until I talk to him, I don't know exactly, and it seems like maybe some of his feedback has zigged and zagged a little bit. To be fair to Joe, but the hard hitting part I thought was with the home show copy was one of the things he said, and he also apparently some of our like saying things like iffy and things like that. He there's certain things that he thought were a little slangy, which would I think under normal circumstances not have been objected to. What's that?
Do you have it that we can look at? I haven't seen it, so I can't comment on it.
Let me see what I have here. I can tell you that some of what I'm telling you about right now was a ping conversation between me and Judy, like literally a half an hour before this call. So I haven't looked at it in regards to
That's not my
his
question.
comments.
My question is, do you have the home show stuff?
I'm looking for it right now on my.
Or do you have it, Joe? Does anybody have it?
I have it. I need to find it.
Okay. I'll tell you what. Why don't you look that up? Shoot it over to me, and meanwhile, I'm going to jump over to Nick, and then we'll jump back to that. Okay?
Okay, and I do have to ask you a question about a PPC page too, and before we're done.
Okay, we'll get to that also. All right, Nick, let's take a look at your quick thing. You with me there, Nick?
Yes.
Okay, let me pull it up. Okay.
The headline I ripped from a Tmac we did a few weeks ago because I think it was Dave's client, because the headline pretty much sums up this client perfectly.
Okay, what's this guy's name?
Tom Hemmerly.
Okay, all right. I was looking at this picture and I thought, I know I've seen this picture. Okay, this is the guy that I worked with this week to get him on board, so that's good.
Yeah. I just got this client yesterday, so this might be a little bit rough around the edges, but he needs a big bill ASAP, so I wanted to get this reviewed.
Yeah, I think this looks good. Here's my only concern, and I think it's a really, really easy to fix concern, so let me tell you what it is. It's a little bit of a readability issue. I want to make sure that the guilty as charged is easily understood to be an extension of the first header.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Right,
Because
yeah.
now it's this. Everyone says I'm the most detailed remodeler they've ever met. And then we got these things. Does that make me detailed? So we've got sort of this fairly long story, which is okay. We just need to make sure it's easy for them to follow it all the way. So maybe some color changes could help this. I'm not saying these are his colors. I just want to see if I change colors.
Yeah, the problem I ran into is I had to switch roofer to remodeler in that first line, so it pushed everything down a line, so I kind of had to resize some stuff, and it didn't look exactly right when I did it.
Kind of like that so there.
Yeah.
All I'm trying to do is I'm trying to visually tie the top statement to the bottom statement so that it's instantly obvious, oh, everyone says this. Is it true? So is it true that I'm detail obsessed? Guilty as charged. I kind of like that. Now, Again, I'm not saying red and blue are his colors or whatever, and you'll need to fool around with this a little bit. But hopefully you can see how that visually ties it.
Right, yeah.
And I might even make this a little bit closer. Did you see that?
Yeah.
It was feeling just a little bit far away, that guilty as charged.
Mm-hmm.
It was kind of sitting there, I was kind of going, well, why is that so far away? But it was real subtle, okay? It wasn't, I didn't, like I moved it a ton. So everybody, I want to make sure that everyone really starts to focus in on these types of details. I like what we've got here. My crews never cut corners. My crew never cuts corners. Space. We always conform exactly to manufacturer specifications, space. And then we've got the two lines that are together with less space. It's a nice visual feel to it. We've also got a nice shape here with these blue lines. Kind of comes out and then it comes back in. I like that. Kind of looks like a spaceship if you blur your eyes and look at it. Or a ship maybe, not a spaceship. Okay, so we've kind of got a tough line cut on this stuff up here, but I think we've cut it the best that it can be cut.
Right, yeah, that's what I was having trouble with.
Yeah, it's the best way to cut it would be this. But, that little teeny everyone says. I mean, I like this. I'm the most detail-obsessed remodeler. I like that, how it jumps, but I don't like what it does to the rest of this. So, it's kind of a tough line cut. Sometimes we just have to look at stuff and go, well, it's kind of a tough line cut. Let's do the best we can. Okay, I haven't read the rest of this, but do I need to? You want me to?
I kind of like you to, just because I haven't had very much time to let this gestate in my brain, and so I haven't not stepped away from it yet.
Out loud. My wife walked by my office yesterday, and she said, "Are you talking to yourself?" And I said, "Yeah, I'm reading stuff that I wrote, because you can always catch stuff that doesn't sound good if you read it out loud."
Yeah.
Not done exactly right, and I don't get along very well. Let me explain. It's May 2013. We're installing a pre-finished wood floor for a customer. After the installation, the homeowner noticed a few of the boards were slightly discolored. Now, is this a true story, or are you making this story up?
This is true. He will tear up jobs that aren't done right.
Okay, good. Now, other contractors would simply refer the customer to the manufacturer and wash their hands of the matter. But I'm not like other contractors. I immediately sent my team to the customer's home, had them tear out the entire floor, and start, keyword you're missing here, start over from scratch.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Okay? Now, I've got a concern here that we need to talk through. I'm concerned that we're breaking it into so many short paragraphs that we might be over-paragraphing it.
Right. Could the "let me explain" go on the first line?
I'm also going to challenge you just to make this a little bit more word efficient. Let me explain. In May 2013, we were installing. We installed a pre-finished wood floor for a customer. After the installation, the homeowner notes a few of the boards are slightly discolored. I really don't like the now. It starts going into a level of informality that I'm not really a big fan of.
Okay.
So that's really a personal thing. If you left it in there and it got published that way, I wouldn't have a heart attack at all. This is kind of a personal preference. There's a fine line between.
Hey, Rich. Sorry,
personal...
I think somebody's at my door. Hold on a minute. Sorry.
Okay. We'll toggle back to Dave. All right, Dave, let's talk pay-per-click. Dave went to get his door too.
Sorry, I accidentally hit mute on my own phone too. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, let's look at this, the home show. What are we going to look at? The big bill? You really don't know, do you?
Yeah, exactly. I'm at the very beginning. I'm gonna, after this conversation, I'm gonna reach out to him and schedule a phone call, and I'll get a little more oriented. And I've got Judy's comments, I got Joe's comments. I just need his comments, and then I can get more oriented. But
okay.
One of the things, like I said, was your
I pulled
review.
up in the banner, Rally windows, and how do you say this? Rally or Raleigh? Rally windows, whatever. And siding are focused on excellence, detailed proposals. Yeah, I mean, this is probably where he's coming from, saying, that sounds too generic, and I would tend to agree. So, what we can do to beef this up, let's go back over to, what was the other thing we were looking at? There's so much crap open here.
The link to his.
It was a web page. It was a web
Yeah,
page.
exactly.
Okay. And then I had some notes too. Let me check these out. So here's what we want to do on this. I mean, here's what we've got when we're talking about a backdrop for a home show. We've got to think of it in terms of a billboard. I mean, it's a sign. Someone's going to see it, and they're going to very quickly form a judgment about, let me be really, really specific. The judgment is, do I want to invest time to talk to this person, or do I want to keep walking in this home show? Okay, so when we see Rally windows and siding focused on excellence, here's what you guys have all got to understand, and Joe, Dave, whoever, I'm not talking, I'm not busting your chops. I just want you to know this. We, MYM, we have severely conditioned our customers to not like platitudes. Okay? So when we start throwing a platitude on something like this home show, they're going to call us out on it pretty much every time. Pretty much every time. And they're going to say, and I'm going to back up and I'm going to give you a little more detail on that. Realize that probably 70 to 80% of the people we do business with, we're not intending on redoing their website and creating additional marketing materials when they first encountered us. They were sitting there thinking that they had a website that was fine, that they had a home show booth that was fine, that they had an advertisement that was fine. I mean, sure, everything can be better, but whatever. This is about what it is, and this is what it should say, and our website is fine. What's the problem? And then they hear the MYM discussion, and we systematically deconstruct the whole idea of using platitudes. We rebuild in its place the concept of identity, and that's why they agree to give us money and have us do this. So we've got to be really, really sensitive to that. And we've got to look at the things that we write and say, is this a platitude? And if it is, we got to change it, because they're not gonna accept it. And that's exactly what's happening with what's on my screen right now. This guy is imagining this on his home show banner, and a guy walking by it and looking over at it. And see, we might be thinking in our minds, MYM, as copywriters, we might be thinking, well, we just wrote this whole identity. We know that there's power there. That's an incorrect thought. We can't assume that anybody that sees anything is going to understand any other part of what we've ever written that's potentially somewhere else on a website or something. All they have to go on, the only piece of information they have to go on, is what they see on that backdrop. And we've got to maximize that backdrop. We've got to maximize those side signs. We've got to maximize what that bill says. And there's just really, real estate is so precious. I don't mean like buying a house. I'm talking about the real estate on your sign. The amount of space on your sign is so limited. On your big bill is so limited. On your homepage is so limited that we have to absolutely maximize every single solitary word. That's why we get on calls like this and we look up and it's been an hour and we're sitting there fiddling with one stupid little word. And it's easy to look at that and go, well, who cares about one stupid word? And I'm going to tell you the answer to who cares about one stupid word. Number one, it's our client. Number two, it's the guy walking by that home show that goes, focused on excellence. Yeah, whatever, it's the same as everybody else. Subconsciously in the back of his mind, not consciously. So we've got to find a way to come up with a home show banner that really knocks the guy's socks off. So I would go back to the identity and see what's there. I mean, this is how we work, right? We just look at the identity. And then we come over here. This is the stuff that I had written back to you. I hold degrees in engineering and finance. I spent 20 years with IBM. I'm hardwired for precision and accuracy. So, you know, we come in here now and we go, okay. Get rid of that. Rally's a place, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe this is not accurate. Maybe he has just called Raleigh Windows and he's actually in, you know, Sacramento or something and not in Raleigh, which I perceive is in North Carolina. Whatever. We'll clean it up in a minute. The only remodeler in Raleigh. Or maybe you just come in and say, what I don't want to, I mean, we could say hardwired for precision and accuracy, but we need to make sure in a home show environment that people have context to know what it is you're selling. What do these guys sell? Windows, siding, and painting? I'm going to assume based on what it says here.
Yeah, I know it's windows and siding. Like I said, I haven't even reviewed this in depth yet. This began to come up yesterday, and I got more details this morning.
I mean, this is an interesting phrase, hardwired for precision and accuracy. It's just an interesting phrase. So here's what we want. We want something that when people walk by, they go, huh, I wonder what that is. Hardwired for precision and accuracy. And then we could put a subheadline. Can we put a subheadline on a banner? Of course we can. I love this line, Joe, love affair. I mean, it's just an interesting.
While you're typing that, Rich, is there any hesitation to doing a home show thing in the first person under the idea that the owner, you know, may not be the person in the booth, or is that really worrying about something that's not really worried about?
It's a good point. I'd bring it up with the owner and see what the situation is. I mean, if your name is Don Isaacson and your face is on everything, and you put your face on your backdrop for Revive Remodeling, then it's probably okay. But I mean, it's an excellent question that would definitely want to be checked into.
Okay.
The only window and siding contractor that's hardwired for precision and accuracy. I don't know. We need to come up with something. But we just need this to be more hard hitting when people walk by.
Okay, and I can, like I said, once I have the conversation with him, about it, because it seems like there's been some, like I said, some zigzagging feedback based on what he told Joe originally compared to what he said later. So I'll kind of get a sense of where he wants to go, and then try and make it as hard hitting as possible.
I don't know. You can figure this out, okay?
Yeah.
I'm just thinking through this a little bit. If he's going to be there, or even if he's not there, if he's okay with being a little bit first person, like we are on his homepage, right?
Yeah.
I mean, this is definitely a first person type of approach. I wouldn't necessarily be afraid to come in here and say, hardwired for precision and accuracy. My background in engineering and accounting taught me the, whatever. Just thinking through this. What would you put for a pop-up banner?
I mean, I'm just kind of shooting off here. Something that catches my eye are the lifetime warranties combined with the full 10-year labor warranty, which is longer than typical. I don't know if we have a warranty theme one or.
Well, here's the thing. I don't really care about that. I do care about that. Sorry, I watch too much Judge Judy. It's my guilty pleasure that I used to decompress at night. And she gets short with people a lot, and it's a bad habit that I picked up from her. But she says that a lot. I don't care about that. I care about that in the context of the whole marketing. Here's what I want. Let me show you something here. I'm going to show you something. You're going to look at this. You're going to go, okay, that's cool. This is the kind of stuff I want to see on home shows. Ruin my vacation, interrupt my dinner, wake me up at 2 a.m. My only concern is your job is 100% perfect. Here's my cell number. I want something that people are going to go, what? Huh? Wow. Okay. We're not the fastest. We're not the cheapest. We're the best. Okay, I got it. I don't want to get so granular that I'm talking about a warranty in this banner. Let me show you another example. I think is in the same one. Look at these guys. Let us help you unleash your inner design genius. Now, let me show you the main background for this one. We'll pick your brain, infuse it with ideas, help you discover exactly what you want. We specialize in even better than I imagine. Then when they see this flanking it, let us help you unleash your inner design genius. Boom, one with the backdrop, boom, two. I mean, it's like a 1-2 punch. Most remodelers are order takers. We are dream makers. See how that works? See how cool those look? You see how those just jump out of the home show and grab somebody? And even though we've got sort of these cute-ish sayings, they're not platitudes, especially when they're flanking this, sort of powerhouse backdrop. So, you come over here on these banners and, I want to see something on there like, again, I'm just going back to the identity. And you know what I want to put on this banner? I want to put the words lifelong love affair. I got to figure out how to do that, because to me that's something that is unexpected, unusual, intriguing, and makes people say, what is he talking about? And it makes them look closer. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, no, I hear what you're saying.
So here's what I just came up with. I wrote the word flawless, huge, all caps across the top of the banner. What I'm doing is I'm creating one of these guys. Flawless. is, and then small, the result of lifelong love affair with remodeling. Then maybe at the bottom, I don't know, maybe that's just good enough like that. Flawless is the result of a lifelong love affair with remodeling. People read that when they're walking by and they go, holy crap, it's just not how people talk. Then maybe another banner. We come in here, let's go back and look at this identity again. We hate, and then big, selling even more than you do. And then under that, maybe a couple quick bullet points. No long, drawn out sales pitches. Now guess what I'm doing? Now I'm just copying crap that I wrote for another client. Whoops, didn't mean to do that. Didn't mean to do that. No boring technical talk. No crazy quotation mark, buy it now discounts. No confusing price schemes. And then below that, the logo. See how that works? This is what we want to accomplish. We don't have to give the whole sales pitch on this banner. We've got two banners. We've got a backdrop. We're going to let them work together. These guys are working in tandem. They're working as a team. Flawless is the result of a lifelong love affair with remodeling. And maybe below that, we'll put a little quote. If I have to choose between profit and perfection, I'll choose perfection every single time. Close quote. And then below that, whatever this guy's name is, Bob Johnson, owner, and the logo. Flawless is the result of a lifelong love affair with remodeling. If I have to choose between profit and perfection, I'll choose perfection every single time. Oh, wow. Cool. You see how this communicates something powerful about this company in a very brief amount of time?
Yep. Yeah, no, that's I go where you're getting with it. It's interesting because I think maybe myself with the home show things, I guess in my mind conceptually, the backdrop thing I get and how we wanted to reinforce the ID. I mean, there's only so much you can put up on there. Obviously, you're not going to write paragraph after paragraph of homepage copy on there. So you have that. And then I guess I'd always kind of seen the pop-up banners as a way to make some specific points about how great their financing is might be a theme of one, and how great, their warranties are might be another. And maybe in some cases that is mildly appropriate, but
Here's what I want you to think of. I want you to use this word in your brain, and everybody tattoo this on your psyche. These pop-up banners, they're supposed to be provocative. There's a word for you. Look at this one on the screen. The guy walks by, he sees, ruin my vacation, interrupt my dinner, wake me up at 2 a.m. And his first thought is, what the hell is that? That's what I want a guy to think. I don't want a guy to think, okay, he's got a 10-year warranty. Is that good? I don't know. We are not the fastest. We are not the cheapest. We are the best. Now, on that one, I had to use the word remodeling on top because if it is seen out of context, they wouldn't have any ability to know what we were talking about. That's why the word remodeling exists at the top of that one. I prefer it not to be there, but for sake of him being able to use that in other instances where the backdrop isn't there, then we want to make sure that it's there.
Gotcha.
So anyway, I mean, you could probably get away without the word remodeling if it was always being used, in connection with this other materials. That would be okay.
Okay.
So here's what I came up with for this guy. Flawless is the result of a lifelong love affair with remodeling. And then the quote, if I have to choose between profit and perfection, I'll choose perfection every single time. Put his logo at the bottom, kind of like we did over here with this one. I like this design. I think it's very powerful. I like the little star at the top. I'm not saying that this guy needs a star. This is a company called Lone Star. That's why that star looks good. But I just like the design. I think it's very interesting and contemporary and trendy and fun and interesting, not just a boring banner. And I like that. On the other one, I have we hate selling even more than you do. No long, drawn-out sales presentations, no boring technical talk, no crazy buy-it-out discounts, no confusing price games. People walk by, they see that, and they go, wow, that's the kind of guy I'd like to talk to. Boom. You got a guy talking to you now, okay? This is what we've got to do. Then you take something like this. We take the gift card. Let us help you unleash your inner genius, inner design genius. That came right from here. Maybe on the gift card you put, flawless is the result of a lifelong love affair with remodeling. Something, let's make these provocative. Let's have people look at this and go, wow, that's really cool.
I get you.
Okay.
I get you. Did you type some of that up on a Word document, some of the stuff you were just talking about?
No, but I did draw it out. I'll scan it and send it to you.
Okay. I'll like I said, I'll talk to him first, but all that obviously could be very useful as I move forward.
What was the pay-per-click thing?
Okay, briefly, Allied Remodeling of Central Maryland. Their website is in production, or at least all the copies have been sent to design. Obviously, we did a main roofing page for him, but they're going to have one specifically for their pay-per-click. They do a roofing ad, and then it goes to a specific page on their website that is for capturing these PPC lates. And I just wanted to get your perspective on what is there elements that have to be on every PPC page, and how do I make it different from their main one, or should I be making it different from their main roofing page? Like, what are the? Okay, I've never written one of these specifically for MWAM.
I'm not a huge fan of landing pages for pay-per-click.
Okay.
In my opinion, what we need to have is a page within their website on roofing or siding or whatever the particular product is, because we always want the pay-per-click ads to be extraordinarily product specific, okay? That probably is obvious to you and others, okay? Yep. So here's what we don't want. And, you may have clients that just dig in their heels and say, well, I want it this other way. But I don't agree with it. What I don't want is just a single page that says, here's, all the stuff, and it tries to capture the lead. What I do want is, let's back up 2 steps. When we write a website for a client, and let's just take a typical kind of client that sells windows, siding, and roofing, okay?
Yep.
We're going to have a home page for this client that's going to be based on the kind of stuff that we're talking about on all these identities. Then we're going to have a section of 2 to 3 to 4 to 5 pages. Let's call it 3 to 5 pages on roofing and on siding and on windows. And within those pages, we need to have essentially what becomes, we'll call it a main page for windows, and a main page for siding, and a main page for roofing. All of that, Dave, you should be hearing and going, yeah, of course, that's how we do it, right?
Yeah.
On that page for roofing in this case should be a de facto identity for their roofing for their company. Now, here's the difference, and here's why I hesitate to use the word identity, because when we hear identity, we think, oh, okay, well, it's this whole project starting all over again. But the reality is, all an identity is on a homepage is, it's the general overall case for this client. And when we're on a page that's talking about roofing, now what we're doing is we're building a case for their roofing. And that case is going to be more focused in on the product and on that particular thing called roofing, but it's still going to include all the other elements that go along with their quote-unquote main identity. We've seen this over and over again. When we've got clients that only sell one product, their identity becomes, in fact, based on that product usually. Let me give you a good example of that. Where is that? My example of that.
The specific context, I understand what you're driving at. The specific context is this, though. All that stuff is done, and they have paid Dale to write an extra page that's specifically going to respond to their roofing PPC page. I mean, if that's what you want me to tell them, I will, and have Dale, send it back and tell them, hey, you should just use your main roofing page. What's that?
Their website launched? Has their website launched?
No, just their homepage is done. I sent Jess all of the copy, and she's added it to Tracker. I don't think Dawn has started actually building out the rest of the site.
Okay, so this is a little bit different than I thought, so I'm sorry about that. Let me back up.
No, that's fine.
So here's what they're saying. We don't have our new website, so we've got pay-per-click. We want to send people to somewhere that doesn't suck. No,
that's not right either. His thought was, okay, so you're building this new website. We know we have pages that cover roofing and all our other products, but we also have PPC campaigns. He is schooled, and I was always schooled in this, but it sounds like our philosophy is different, in that when someone's clicking through on a PPC ad, you're looking to capture that lead because you paid money for them to click specifically on that particular thing. So his impression was that we should have a separate page.
Wrong.
Okay.
That school of thought is wrong, and I'm going to tell you exactly why it's wrong. And, essentially, as a training call, this is the MYM stance on this issue, okay? What you're talking about is creating a page with what I call engagement tools. Here's a form, fill it out, let us capture you so we can try to sell you, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I think that's a bunch of caca. The reason is because it preassumes a lot of things that are not true about the interaction that's happening on that web page. It preassumes that you've got a person who is coming onto this page that I don't even know how to articulate what it preassumes. It preassumes that a guy's just going to fill out a form, and that the guy's intention in searching for a roofer is to fill out a form. It's not his intention to fill out his form. His intention is to find somebody to do the roofing job. And yes, it's okay to have forms that people can fill out, but you know what most people are going to do when they find a company online that they like for roofing?
They're going to call.
They're going to freaking call. But they're never going to call until they feel comfortable and confident that this is a company that I think can do the job the right way. That's when the phone call gets initiated. So here's what all these other companies do, all these pay-per-click guys and all these SEO guys and all these website design guys, is they put a ton of these engagement tools. Let me show you a great example of this. What is this guy's website? I know how to find it. Right here. Okay, you see this guy here, All Pro Windows?
Yep.
Did you notice anything about how well his search engine optimization is doing?
Well, he's right up there at the top of organic, right?
Yeah, so that's good. So let's click on the site. Right?
Yeah.
You know how I know about this website? Because the owner
No.
called and he said, this website generates 0 leads for me. I just spent $17,000 to build a website and optimize it for 1 year. The optimization is working, as we just verified. He's first.
Yeah, he's number one.
When
Yeah.
I first started looking at this, he was below Better Business Bureau. He's actually gone above Better Business Bureau now. He said, the problem is I don't get any leads from it. And the reason is because this is the usual bullcrap website that's trying to say, here, get a price, view our special offers, what's the minimum payment plan, get our newsletter, get our brochure. And it's got all these little engagement tools that all these nut jobs like because they think it's going to get them a lead. Meanwhile, it's not giving people what they want, which is, why should I buy my windows from this guy instead of somebody else? And you start reading the text, and it's just the normal garbage text that we see on all the websites that we're redoing for people because they suck. So this is what he's thinking in his mind, some variation of this, something where I can capture this guy, I can, get a price, and then whatever, one page worth of crap that I can put on one page so that people will fill out the form. That's what he's thinking, and it's flawed thinking.
Okay.
That's why I said what we want to do. I'll back up one more time. This is what I tell people in webinars and seminars. This is what I tell people when we're closing them as clients. I tell them, we're not going to do pay-per-click advertising for you until your website's done. And here's why. Because we need your entire website to be working, to be functional, and to be, what's the word I'm looking for here? A website is not a home page, and a website is not a Windows page, and a website is not an FAQ page. It's all of these things working together, so the confluence is a solid case that makes people go, yeah, this is who I want to call. And when we try to distill it down to one single page, we lose all of that synergy that comes from all of those pages. And we have diminished results, and it doesn't work as well.
Okay. So on a practical level here, we're in the middle of something, and that is that he's paid us for this separate page that would be in addition to the main roofing page that I've already written. And so my two questions are, one is, do I recommend that we just say, hey, I reviewed this with Rich. This is his thinking on PPC, and that to do an extra page is not worthwhile? Or if that is the recommendation, are we then recommending that a roofing ad will go directly to their main roofing page or directly to their home page? I guess those are my two questions.
Okay, pay-per-click always is going to go to this product-specific page.
Okay, so I got that.
Which is why it becomes extraordinarily critical that each product's main page is written in a very powerful way. We can't look, and I'm not accusing anybody of doing this, but just as a general statement, we can't assume that, well, we wrote the homepage and it's awesome and we spent all this time on this call making sure that every single word was perfect, and then, sort of breathe a sigh of relief and then just put whatever we can think of on the other pages. These other pages are also really, really critical.
Yeah. No, understood.
And I was going to show you this page, and I still want to show it to you. You've seen it before, but I just want to cover it very, very briefly. This is a Renewal by Andersen page that I mocked up. This is a home page, and the reason it's a home page is because they only sell one product, which is windows. But if they sold multiple products, window, siding, James Hardy, whatever, roofing, and they went to the roofing page, this is what I'd want the roofing page to say, right here. Boom, 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 boom. It's an identity for the product. So when you're talking to your clients, again, Dave, this is a general statement. This isn't necessarily, hey, this client that we're talking about, do this. A general statement is, if you've got a guy and he says, well, we sell Infinity by Marvin windows, or we sell Renewal by Andersen windows, or we sell Great Lakes windows, you want to grill the guy. Well, why? Why do you sell that window? What made you, out of all the windows that are out there, why did you choose that one? And here's what he's going to do. He's going to give you typically a pretty good answer. Well, we like it because it's whatever it is. And then you start building the case for that product based on those elements, and you put it as a product-oriented identity into that page, that what we'll call main page, not identity page, but main page for that product. And then if you look here, we've got Dare to Compare. More efficient, longest lasting, and these are the various elements of this particular window, which would also be the various elements of other windows that you could start to compare. So going back now to your specific question, Dave, what do we tell this guy? What I would prefer to tell him is we want to wait until your website's ready to launch. But what I might do is I might look and see when that is scheduled to happen. This is your client, right?
Yeah.
And you've already submitted all. Do we have a signed off web copy and it's ready to roll?
That's correct.
It's just sitting in design?
That's correct.
Okay. How long has it been sitting
It's with
in design?
Jess now. I mean, she's doing the design coordinating. I mean, not that I won't be involved as needed.
How long ago did you hand it over?
I'd have to look to be exact, but it's probably around a week and a half to 2 weeks ago.
Okay, so this thing could be ready anywhere from 1 to 5 weeks from now. We don't really know, right?
That's my assumption.
Okay.
Yep.
I would just tell the guy to wait.
Okay.
Now, the conversation might be different if you were just starting, you just completed the identity, and he says, well, I want to get some pay-per-click going, and he's looking at potentially 3-4 months until his website's ready.
Yeah.
Then we might have a conversation that says, okay, well, let's write a page, let's put it up, we'll be as powerful as we can. Now, this is not our first recommendation, Mr. Client. Our first recommendation is that you wait, but, you know, we can try this and see what happens.
Yeah. This came about because he felt like he needed this as an addition to what on his new website. It didn't come about because he was like, hey, I got to get some PPC doing now, and I need you guys to do something temporarily till I get it up. So I think part of it is me and Dale and Judy, who I involved in this, did not completely understand that you're not really recommending a separate page. And so
I don't recommend it at all. I disrecommend it.
Okay, yeah. Yes. And so, but unfortunately, we went through the process. Dale gave me the pricing, and you know, like I said, I worked with Judy a little bit on it. We all got on the same page, and then Dale, they're also ordering some other stuff. So Dale sent him an invoice for all those things, and he actually just confirmed this morning that they have in fact paid. So
okay, that's
where
okay.
I'm at with it.
I mean, to me, we learn things like this by them happening. It's hard to anticipate things like this happening. So, you know, I'm going to definitely make an adjustment with Dale on that, because the reality is, you know, I went through the evaluation process that you and or Dale and or anybody would need to go through, which is, well, when's your website going to launch? Well, it's going to launch, you know, I don't know, probably in anywhere from 1 to 5 weeks. Let's call it 3 weeks. Well, then, number one, it's going to take us just as long to launch the website as it's going to launch one page.
Yeah.
I mean, we're not going to turn around your one-page website in 2 days just because you want it. I mean, we got other crap we're working on over here.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's number one. Number two is we really don't want to do that anyway for all the reasons I just listed. And make sure that these guys understand, just as a general principle, again, not focused on this client, that pay-per-click success is based on a synergy of all the pages on the website working together, not just on a single page that has a form, you know, and some slick copy.
Yeah, no, I have a much better understanding of where you're at, and I mean, to be honest, the misunderstanding starts with me, and part of like maybe when I was dealing with Judy and Dale on it, they, you know, your immediate assumption was that he was looking for a stopgap, and that may have been theirs too. So that may be part of it. My thing was, oh, okay, so here's a client that wants something specialized for his roofing piece PC when his new website is launched, so it, you know, he has all the pages in his arsenal that he wants. And you're saying he doesn't need that it's a waste. It's not only not productive, it's actually counterproductive. So I have a better grasp of that now. But you know, we're closing the gate after the horse got out. Not that we can't fix it or whatever, but that's how it all came about. Okay,
well, like I said, this is one of those things where we go, okay, it's hard to anticipate things before they happen.
Yeah.
But after it happens once, we need to shut that down and fix it. So
yeah,
I would like anytime a client says something like, hey, what about pay-per-click? I would like our immediate company line to be, oh, well, we're not going to do that until your website's up and launched, and here's why.
Gotcha.
And then if the client gives pushback and says, well, I need leads right away, and it's going to be 5 months until my website's done, we just started, then we can start having a discussion about, well, it's not ideal, but we could probably put something up. It's going to cost you some extra money, and I'm not making you any promises, kind of a discussion.
I hear you.
Okay. So I'll let you discuss that with Judy and Dale on the back end. I'll have a discussion with those two also about what we just talked about.
Got you.
Okay. All right. I think that's it then, right?
Yeah, if you can email me that stuff you did for the home show for Raleigh, whatever it is, when you get a chance to.
Let's see here. Where did that stuff go? Where did it go? Oh, there it went. All right.
Oh, that's right. I'm sorry. You said you had to scan that or something too.
Yeah, I already did.
I already
did.
Okay.
Scanned it 2 minutes ago.
Okay.
No, that's the wrong guy. All right. That's on its way to you right now. So
Okay,
I'm going to toggle back to Nick. Good talking to you today, Dave. And Nick, I'm back.
Hi.
That'll teach you to go get your door. Okay, where were we on this? And I can't even remember what we're talking about now.
We were on like the second paragraph of the body copy of the Paragon installer's identity.
Just right here?
Right. We were you just
we were wordsmithing a little bit. We were being a little bit more word efficient, and we were having fewer paragraphs.
Right.
Not done exactly right, and I don't get along very well. Let me explain. In May 2013, just trying to wonder if "let me explain" is the right introduction to that. Maybe let me give you an example. Because let me explain almost makes it sound like, okay, I based my philosophy off this one experience.
Right.
Let me just cleaning this up a little bit. I'm not writing anything new here. If you're unsatisfied with the smallest detail, I consider the entire project a failure. My only priority is giving you exactly what you want, making sure it's done completely right the first time. It's because of perfection.
Okay, this next paragraph is kind of where I'm concerned because I don't know if it flows right with what came before it.
Okay. It's because of perfectionists give you
That's a guy word. Because of
awkward.
Yeah.
Because of probably mine.
Right.
Perfectionists give you exactly what you want attitude that I develop a good, better, best pricing model that accommodates every budget. You pick 3 options: small budget package, which uses high-end materials that are cost effective; a medium-end package that utilizes superior quality materials that cost a little more, and a high budget package which uses filet mignon caliber materials that are a little higher on the price scale. Okay, you do need a transition here. That being said, I'm not necessarily the most expensive remodeler either. I developed a pricing model that allows me to work with all kinds of homeowners, from medium budget, clear up to man. I'm so tempted to grab that filet mignon because it's so descriptive. That being said, I'm not necessarily the most expensive remodeler either. I developed a pricing model that allows me to work with all kinds of homeowners and accommodates all kinds of homeowners depending on their budgets. Did he call these small budget, medium budget, and high budget? Is that his words, or did you make those words up?
Not his exact words, but that was the implication, that there is, for example, he could do a bathroom for the small budget would be $10K, the medium would be $15, maybe the high would be $25.
I don't like small budget, medium budget, and high budget. I'd rather say modest budget. That being said, I'm not necessarily the most. Now, do you see? There's an interesting little phraseology going on in this sentence. Did you see this? That being said, I'm not necessarily the most expensive remodeler either. Here's what he's also saying though. I'm not cheap. I'm just not necessarily the most expensive remodeler. I might be the most expensive remodeler, but I'm not necessarily the most expensive remodeler is what we're communicating. I developed a pricing model that allows me to work with all kinds of homeowners depending on their budgets. It's completely up to you. Modest budget. See, we're starting at more of a higher end here, right? So really, instead of having a good, low, medium, high, which is what you're saying, I want to have what you originally said: good, better, best. Or good, maybe great, premium, and ultra premium, right?
Right. Yeah. I think he's gonna call it because the system is he's still working on it. Should be done by next month, but I think he's calling it good, better, and best.
Okay, that's fine. A developed pricing model allows me to work with homeowners depending on their budgets. It's completely up to you. But I can. It's completely up to you. That being said, I'm not necessarily the most expensive remodeler either. I develop a pricing model. Called Good, Better, Best that allows me to work within any budget. Now, this is all about readability here. Okay, I'm just pulling this out of this paragraph so that they can quickly see it. High-end materials, expert installation. Superior quality materials, expert installation. Highest possible quality materials, precision, craftsman installation. Something like that. We need a word for the middle one. Modest. Modest budget, blank budget, filet mignon budget. How about that?
Sounds good. The only with the filet mignon budget with the precision craftsman installation, I don't know if you would want to differentiate installation, but yeah, based on okay.
So here's what we do. And see what they're reading here is they go high quality, superior quality, highest possible quality. They go, okay, I get it. You're using higher quality stuff. Okay. No matter which option.
Well, that could go now that we've reworked it, I think. And I don't know if this next sentence, it leads in very well to what I'm trying to say next.
During your consultation, we'll help you determine which is best for you given your budget and goals for the project. Regardless, the final decision is, you see where I'm starting to head now? Completely up to you. We have a strict no sales pressure policy, which means no 3-hour arm-twisting sales meetings to get you to buy. We'll perform a thorough inspection of the property. And deliver a detailed, accurate, solutions-based proposal the next day. This customer education, zero solicitation approach to consultations. Is that something he came up with? That was from a different client, wasn't it?
Yeah, I tend to use that a little bit.
Okay. Is the only way to ensure you get exactly what you want. Okay. See, I like this. This works pretty good.
Okay. Since he's kind of in a rush to get this big build, do you think it's better to send him just the copy first, then approve it, and then it's sent to design?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Most definitely. Boom.
Cool.
There you go.
Thanks.
It's so advanced and simple. All right. Let me check to see if I've got any other outstanding questions. Okay. I'm going to unmute everybody for just a second. All right, everybody's unmuted. Does anybody have any questions or comments? Sounds like a no. Okay, well, we'll go ahead and end up there then. Thanks, guys. We'll talk to you next week. I'm sure we'll have a pretty heavy load, so send your stuff early and get ready to hunker down next week, all right?
Thanks, Rick.
All right.
Bye.
Yeah, bye-bye.